Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and a slight risk is issued for day 2 and enhanced for day 3, and the 30% risk is extended for day 4. Let's go ahead and dive right into it so we can cover it all, as well as the CAPE values with some of these days. Alright, so this is the situation we have according to the SPC. This is the day 2 outlook. You can see it right here. The slight risk expands from the tip of southern Illinois, western Kentucky, and parts of Tennessee, and the slither of Mississippi, including Memphis, Tennessee, all the way down to Texas, including other cities like Waco, Dallas, Little Rock, those cities. The marginal risk will expand from that. It'll go from San Antonio all the way up to Louisville in this area, and the generic thunderstorms are everywhere else. So these are some of the risks we have. The tornado risk was at 2% earlier. Now it's at 5%, so there's a 5% chance of a tornado happening within 25 miles from a point right here in that slight risk area. The wind threat is at 15%, so not much has changed right here. So, yeah, Little Rock, Memphis, just outside Jackson, Tennessee, they're under this here. The hail threat's the biggest threat, as you can see. There's 15%, but there's that hashed area, which means there's 15% chance of 2-inch hail within 25 miles of a point. So, yeah, this is what we have right here. The 5% goes everywhere else in the marginal risk area. So basically, this is what we're doing, and this is the summary and synopsis. Let's go ahead and go over those. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms from parts of north central Texas, to the mid-south. Summary: isolated scattered severe thunderstorms should occur Monday into Monday night for parts of the north central Texas into the mid-south and vicinity. Large to very large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes all appear possible. Synopsis: a shortwave trough will move northeast from the upper Midwest into Canada on Monday, with upper ridging expected to build over much of the northern and central plains in its wake. Further west, another upper trough should move east-southeast along the west coast and across parts of the Great Basin through the period. A weak surface low initially over southern Oklahoma, north-central Texas should fill as it develops northeastward towards the mid-Mississippi Valley through the day. A cold front, this just updated, a cold front should extend from parts of the Midwest southwestward to Oklahoma, and a dry line is forecast to sharpen across the central Texas and south of the front through Monday evening. Southern plains through the Mississippi to lower Ohio Valley. Generally evaluated thunderstorms along the north and the cold front may be ongoing at the start of the period Monday morning over parts of the Missouri. This activity may pose to isolated hail or wind threat as it appears eastward across the mid-Mississippi Valley, but instability should remain rather weak ahead of it. To the south of the cold front and east of the dry line, increasing low-level moisture with low to mid-60 surface dew points should advance northward through the day. Diurnal heating of this moist low-level air mass and the presence of steep mid-level lapse rates over much of the warm sector will likely foster a development of 1,000 to 2,500 joules of kilogram for CAPE by peak afternoon heating. Where a more robust heating can occur, locally stronger instability upwards of 2,500 to 3,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE may be realized. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this, because I put out a community post last night looking at the HER model. So let's go ahead and take a look at this for the CAPE. So this is the CAPE for basically today and tomorrow. This goes out for only 48 hours, so yeah, this is the CAPE. It starts developing into the night tonight, and already this is 21Z or 4 o'clock today when this is going on. There's already CAPE values that are close to 2,000 joules per kilogram, so there's plenty of that energy right there, that convective available potential energy, that is. And see, it weakens during the night, and then it really ramps up. Like, we're seeing values of there are over 3,000 in such a broad area. In fact, there's a value that was in there. Let me try to find it. Okay, there. Okay, there it is. There's a value that has it at over 4,000 joules per kilogram right here. So we are seeing values already on day 1 that are cracking 4,000 joules of CAPE. So, yeah, just for context, 2,000 joules per kilogram is considered a conducive environment. And basically, what we saw during the El Reno tornado in 2013, that day we had the largest tornado in the world. The amount of CAPE we saw in there was over 6,000 joules per kilogram. So, if the shear matches with the CAPE, this could end up being a very conducive environment. So, yeah, we are seeing a very broad area of 3,000 joules per kilogram or more. Like, we're seeing areas that crack 4,000 on the HER model. Someone in the comments brought it up to my attention, and I looked into it, and this is when I found it. Like, holy crap! And the latest run is in. So yeah, that's the latest run, and yeah, it still has that 3,000 joules of kilogram for CAPE in some of these areas right here. So yeah, we'll have to pay attention to it. It's been bobbing and weaving all day. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. The 6Z had, as well as the 0Z and the 18Z were very consistent at the huge area of 3,000 joules per kilogram. So we'll have to pay more attention to that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get back into this. A belt of stronger mid-level southerly flow should be present over the northern portions of the surface warm sector, namely the eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas in the mid-south. Weaker flow aloft the forecast with the southward extend into Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Regardless, effective bulk shear should range from 30 to 50 knots, stronger in the vicinity in the cold front. The forecast combination of moderate to locally strong instability, the enhanced deep layer shear will likely prove favorable for convective organization. Supercells should occur with any convection that is from the south of the front, while clusters and more linear appear probable along the front itself as it moves slowly southeastward through the day before stalling Monday night. Large to very large hail will be a threat for any discrete supercells that develop late Monday afternoon and evening, given the steep mid-level lapse rates and large reservoir buoyancy available. Okay, this updated again, my apologies. A more focused area of damaging wind potential may exist along and ahead of the front of Arkansas in the mid-south. A few tornadoes appear possible, particularly Monday evening and night, as a southerly low jet slowly strengthens over Arkansas and the lower Mississippi Valley. The primary uncertainty remains overall the coverage of thunderstorms, as a large-scale forcing aloft is expected to remain nebulous at best. Convective initiation along the east of the dry line in southern Oklahoma and north-central northeast Texas appear fairly conditional at this time, but if a thunderstorm or two can form in this region, they will likely pose a threat for very large hail. So that's the situation we have. We're seeing a lot of CAPE and a lot of potential energy. We're just not seeing some more ingredients matching up. Otherwise, we would have probably been in enhanced risk at this point right now. So there is some uncertainty of that. But all right, let's go ahead and go to the day 3 outlook. Now this is where we should. Now this right here, this is basically what I've been paying attention to. There's an enhanced risk all the way from Iowa down to Texas, including Dallas, because every day in what we're covering, Dallas is in some sort of severe weather risk. So that shows you what's going on. So it includes the city of Des Moines, just outside of Omaha, Kansas City, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Norman, and Dallas, as I said. Now the slight risk is going in a very large area, including the cities of Austin, Waco, Lufkin, Alexandria, Shreveport, Greenville, Little Rock, Springfield, Jefferson City, Annabelle, Missouri, Lincoln, Omaha, Wichita, those areas. And now finally the marginal risk covers everywhere else, including the entire state of Illinois, most of Indiana, most of Kentucky, most of Wisconsin, parts of Minnesota, Nebraska, etc., including the cities of San Antonio, New Orleans, Jackson, Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Peoria, Springfield, St. Louis, and all of the above. So this is what we're looking at right here. Let's take a look at the summary and synopsis. There's an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms in parts of the south central plains and the mid-Missouri Valley. Summary. Scattered severe thunderstorms are capable of producing very large hail. Damaging winds and tornadoes should occur Tuesday evening and night across a broad portion of the south central plains into the mid-Mississippi Valley. Some tornadoes could be strong. Now, this is the probabilistic right here. They have a 30% risk of severe thunderstorms, but all that 30% risk in there is in this hatched area, which means there is a 30% risk of erg rate, or of the probability of significantly severe weather within 25 miles of a point. We'll have to pay attention to that as the next for tomorrow as the next day comes out. So let's go ahead and look at the synopsis. A pronounced upper trough over the western continental United States Tuesday morning will eject over the Rockies and adjacent high plains through the day. Although there is still some model differences in its placement, this upper trough low should be centered over the northern central plains by Tuesday night. A low amplitude of southern stream shortwave trough should advance northeastward over the Texas coast plain during the day. It should reach the lower Mississippi Valley Tuesday night. At the surface, a deep lee cyclone over the eastern Colorado will develop generally east-northeastward across the central plains through the Tuesday evening and continue eastward towards the upper Midwest Tuesday night. A sharp dry line will extend southward from the surface low across the south central plains. A cold front attended to the surface low will sweep southeasterly over the north central plains Tuesday evening and night. South central plains in the Mississippi Valley. A robust low-level mass response ahead of the ejecting upper trough will encounter the low-level moisture to surge quickly northward through this period across the southern central plains and lower mid-Mississippi Valley east of the dry line. Steep mid-level lapse rates emanting from the southwest and northern Mexico and southern high plains will overspread much of the warm sector. An associated low-level cap will likely hinder convective development along most of the length of the dry line through late Tuesday afternoon. Eventually, the modest mid-level height falls ascent preceding the upper trough should act in concert with strong general heating along or near the dry line circulation and aid convective initiation along the dry line extending from central Texas into parts of eastern Kansas. There is still some uncertainty regarding the overall thunderstorm coverage given the modest ascent and possibly weak convective inhibition remaining. Regardless, any thunderstorms that form through this regime will be likely to be becoming severe quickly, as moderate to strong instability will exist along the sufficient deep layer shear for supercells. A very large hail should occur with any discrete thunderstorm that can be sustained, and tornadoes will also be possible. Further north across the plains to the mid-Missouri Valley, where low-level moisture will not be quite as rich or deep, convective initiation may be delayed until Tuesday evening as the ascent preceding the surface low overspreads the region. Still, this region will have stronger mid-level winds effective to bulk shear to support supercell structures with any cells that can form along the dry line and cold front. All severe this thing just updated again. All severe hazards will be a threat, including very large hail, damaging tornadoes, and damaging winds. This rapidly strengthening low-level jets Tuesday evening and night will enhance the low-level shear, and a couple of strong tornadoes may also occur if thunderstorms can remain at least semi-discrete. With time, convection may grow upscale into a squall line Tuesday and pose a severe damaging wind threat eastern extent across Iowa and eastern Kansas and Missouri. Some elevated hail may occur to the northern warm front of the steep mid-level lapse rates and should be present. Across the Texas coastal plain, the Arklatex lower Mississippi Valley ascent associated with the southern stream of shortwave trough may support isolated scattered convective development Tuesday afternoon. The deep layer shear appears strong enough to be organized updrafts, and some severe threat should exist in the rich low-level moisture will be in place in these areas. It remains unclear whether the convection that forms along the dry line will persist Tuesday night across the Arklatex Ozarks. Strong low-level shear will be present along is sufficient low-level moisture to support surface-based thunderstorms. At least an isolated severe threat may continue through these regions Tuesday night to early Wednesday morning, with all severe hazards possible. So again, this is the situation that we're dealing with right here. So yeah, that's just talking about it. I'll have to look at the Cape for later on from the HER to see as those models come out to see what's going on with that. But still, nevertheless, we could see some supercells out of this that can produce some very large hail and tornadoes. So people need to pay attention to this, pay attention to their local news, and as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated. Now, this is the last thing we're going to cover very quickly, because I know this video has been long enough. So yeah, this is the Day 4 outlook, and now they've expanded at 30% risk from basically just the Arkansas all the way up to southern Illinois, into western Kentucky, western Tennessee, most of Mississippi, most of northern Louisiana, and this area in Texas and Oklahoma. Now includes the cities of St. Louis, Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Little Rock. Still, the 15% still expands from Wisconsin all the way down to the Gulf Coast, so I'll have to pay attention to that. Now, this is the discussion we're looking at. A substantial severe threat will continue on Day 4/Wednesday across parts of the central and eastern continental United States. Large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes should all occur. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. The large-scale upper trough over the plains Wednesday morning should eject into the Mississippi Valley, Midwest, and Great Lakes through the Day 4 Wednesday period. Differences remain in the detail, which the placement and evolution of this upper trough. Even so, a cold front attended to a deep surface cyclone over the upper Mississippi, the upper Midwest, will sweep eastward across much of the lower Mississippi Valley and Midwest Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday night. Strong low-level and deep layer shear will accompany this frontal passage and will likely support a substantial organized severe thunderstorm threat. It also appears probable that the rich low-level moisture characterized with mid to upper 60 surface dew points will advance as far northward as parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley to the lower Ohio Valley. Sufficient instability should be present ahead of the cold front to support surface-based thunderstorms. Convection may be ongoing Wednesday morning over parts of the Mid-South, aided by strong low-level warm advection. Additional scattered to numerous thunderstorms are expected to appear along or ahead of the eastward moving cold front. If some of this convection can form ahead of the front, deep layer shear will be strong enough to support supercells. A more linear mode should also develop along the front itself. All severe hazards, including large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes, should occur as this convection sweeps eastward through the lower mid-Mississippi Valley, the Midwest, and parts of the Southeast through Wednesday night. The 15% severe area has been extended eastward through the base of the consensus that the latest model guidance suggests sufficient low-level moisture will be in place over most of the Midwest, Tennessee Valley, and Southeast Wednesday evening and night as the support of the base thunderstorms. The 30% severe areas have extended northward and eastward into more of the lower to mid-Mississippi Valley, where confidence is greatest for scattered to numerous discrete and linear convection Wednesday afternoon. So this is the situation we're dealing with right here, and this is basically what's going on. The 30% risk expanded to the north and eastward. It was just in Arkansas yesterday. Now it's through more of the deep south, more through the Mississippi Valley, including St. Louis now. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. I know I will be. I will not be surprised if one of these days they will issue a moderate risk. But once again, take what I just said with a grain of salt. I'll keep you guys updated as the situation develops. And with that being said, guys, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out, it helps make more videos like these. It also helps more of the public and gets them more engaged with what's going on here. And with that being said, guys, have a wonderful Palm Sunday. Stay safe.